Welcome, my Scorpio Ascendant, Scorpio Rising Truth Seekers. Scorpios, better than anybody else, understand that there is so much more that is beneath the surface. There is so much more that is behind closed doors, much more that is behind the scenes, much more than what we can see with our physical eyes. Scorpios are extremely psychic, and so right now I'm going to talk a little bit more about the new moon in Aries at 4 degrees. I'm going to talk to you about how this is a new beginning, a new opportunity to place your wishes, your intentions, and what you want for the coming year. The new moon in Aries, remember, Aries is a cardinal sign, which is let's begin, let's start. Aries is the first of the cardinal signs. So this is like a cardinal point new moon. It is the beginning of the beginning. Aries is fiery. It's the leader. It's the first one out of the gate. Mars rules it. It won't back down. So for you, Scorpio Ascendant, Scorpio Risings, where's this going to be in your life? Because it is being sextiled, meaning there is supportive beams and streams of energy coming from all the stuff in Capricorn right now. It's just beautifully setting up that energy, you personally, to your ascendant, to your first house. So I'm going to give you dates and degrees, and then we're going to dive deep into the all astrology. Where's the new moon going to be happening? If you're a Scorpio Ascendant, Scorpio Rising, Aries energy is in your 6th house, okay? So 6th house is work. 6th house is my health. 6th house is our pets. 6th house is how we serve somebody in our life. Normally people we're close to. 6th house is all about, think about Virgo energy. It's practical. It knows how to get things done. So having that Arian energy there then means you're that person who likes to initiate taking care of things. You initiate work. You love projects. Maybe love isn't the right word, because without your specific chart, I couldn't really use that word, because Aries is just fiery and assertive. So seeking new work, but finding self-meaning in new projects, in new work. If you're new here, this is all astrology. We will help you out. Comment your stuff down below, and I will get either your birth chart to you, your birth info, your rising sign, your moon sign, your sun sign, so you can watch videos. Or if you're willing to wait, or I should say, and if you're willing to wait, we put your digits in our free reading rotation. And one day, your video with your specific birth time will come up. It is 100% private. No names are ever given. It's strictly birth time, dates, and all that good stuff. So do yourself a favor. Comment below. Let's get back to the 6th house and the Arian energy. 4 degrees Aries is the new moon. All right, folks. Now, I'm going to give you the date of when this occurs, but I have to first talk about the few days before the new moon. It is in the month of March, okay? It's at the butt end of March. But when we talk about the days before the new moon, I was blown away by the amount of universal support all of us are receiving. If you're a Scorpio Ascendant, Scorpio Rising, a good chunk of that support is coming from your Capricorn energy. And this is your relating. This is your talking. This is your networking, your communicating. Networking as in this friend and this friend and this friend, or business contacts or coworkers, or just, even siblings is in this placement, because your Capricorn energy is in your 3rd house. So 3rd house, Capricorn is about structures. It is about organizing. It is about doing things by the book, doing things by the rules. So when we understand that, when we say, okay, 3rd house is about thinking and communication, it is about talking. It's also, who do we talk to in that 3rd house, right? Siblings, coworkers, relatives. We're going to talk about people who are in our immediate environment. So neighbors would be included, but people who are part of your daily routine as well are going to be in this location. So where are you spending your daily routines? Is the majority part of your day at the job and then the other part of the day at home? It's going to be both of these placements. The way you talk, the way you communicate, who you talk and communicate to are going to all be involved in this. Now, Capricorn energy says there are certain rules of etiquette. There are certain rules in communication. Like here on YouTube, they've got all these guidelines. If you're going to leave a comment, you have to follow the guidelines, right? Otherwise you get booted out. It's about communicating, but following the rules of communication. If you do this, you're going to get a sweet benefit. Well, you've been doing it. You've been learning this. We've all had Capricorn somewhere in our chart. So because we've had megastellium of planets there, it took on a higher role, a spiritual vibration even. The frequencies that we have been feeling in our Capricorn energy, specifically for you, Scorpio Ascendant, has been all about how do I communicate? How do I think? How am I maybe setting more structures within myself? If I am an aware individual, I'm paying attention to how I communicate with others, to how I receive their information and what it means to me. You know how we'll have a conversation with somebody and things are said, whether it's positive or negative, things are said and then afterwards you mull them over in your mind and you're like, God, I wish I had said that better. I wish I had said that differently. Or gosh, why did they have to say that way, right? There's this thinking that goes on. And that is what our third house represents, how we think. And having Capricorn energy there means, well, first of all, it's cardinal-like energy, all right? And cardinal meaning you take action. So what is that? What is that equal? The product of that is I have a thought and immediately I'm acting on it. Immediately I'm expressing it. And sometimes, depending upon how much stuff you have, like I have a good friend, she's got so much stuff. I have a few people that I know now that I think about it, who have a whole buttload of planets in that third house. Therefore, for them, and for people who don't know them well, and their quick observations of them, there's this constant water flow of information and knowledge and communication and talking that is constantly just pouring out of their mouth. It's like, okay, turn it off, right? And so for them, during this whole time and taking on this spiritual role, and when we say spiritual, it means our elevation of our awareness sets in to some degree. All of a sudden we have this, oh shit, right? Somebody else saw something about it, the way we behaved and spoke, and we weren't seeing it, we weren't perceiving it. Now is the time when we're doing it because we're having wonderful support, all right? If you have your chart, take a look at it. I'm going to give you some degrees. Pay attention to your third house, all right? Because it is this third house energy, okay? Even though we have the planets all right now, we've got like Mercury. Let me stick to Capricorn. We've got Mars like at 23, 24 degrees in Capricorn. We've got Jupiter, 23 degrees of Capricorn. Pluto, 24 degrees of Capricorn. Saturn, 2959, a critical degree. At the end of March, Saturn will literally dip out of Capricorn and climb up to ascend off of that mountaintop and actually literally be up in the clouds, so to speak, in the Aquarian energy, which is this futuristic energy. It's more about this is what is needed for the whole, for the group. It has this great, innovative, outside of the box way of thinking. Can almost seem just shocking at times to other people. But what we want to embrace is the new moon, and it being at 4 degrees, okay, and it's in this cardinal energy of Aries. We then look over to what else is either supporting or not supporting. Well, Uranus is in Taurus, right? Another earth sign at 4 degrees at this time. Now, the new moon is at 4 degrees. So this would be considered a semi-sextile because it's 30 degrees apart roughly, okay? Prior to this, think about the nodes, all right? There's some videos done about the nodes. If you haven't watched them, I'll attach the link below. The nodes are at 4 degrees, okay? We've got the nodes running through the butt end. Literally, their nodes go backwards, by the way. And so the nodes are at 4 degrees in Cancer and 4 degrees in Capricorn. So you're hearing a lot of similar numbers here. The number 4 is big. So all of these things, like the Cancer energy, the 4 degree node there, that is first of all going to square the new moon. All right, which means it's going to be a challenge. Understanding that nodal energy, the Cancer 4 degrees, for you, Scorpio Ascendant, your Cancer energy is typically going to be taking place in your 9th house. So this is about your belief systems. It is about it's your philosophy on life. It's your religion. It's your spirituality. Okay, so that 4 degrees in Cancer, squaring up with the Aries new moon will make it uncomfortable. we're going to have the moon at 4 degrees. We're going to have the sun at 4 degrees. And we are also going to have our transiting Chiron in Aries at 5 degrees. Gotcha? Chiron is a wound. It is something it's a wound we typically receive when we were younger. And it's definitely about ourself. It could be our appearance and our physical body because it's in Aries. Aries also has to do with our head. So there could be, depending upon where you are in your level of evolution, bottom line, has a lot to do with how you would understand this energy for you. So Aryan energy, the head, is also about thinking. It's more of an esoteric way of looking at it. Exoteric is definitely my physical body and my skull, literally. But when we grow, when we ascend, it becomes more about, because think about Aries energy, right? They're very impulsive. They're very quick. They jump to an conclusion. They leap without looking, right? They speak without thinking. So they have to learn to develop the thinking attributes. So this is the opportunity for those, depending upon where you're at. And all that means when I say where you're at, we are all on the same path, but we're all at different spots on that path. There is no wrong, there is no right, there is no good, there is no bad. It's a matter of evolving. And everyone's specific frequency grid that you were born with, that you came in with, is special to you. So never put yourself in that silly, silly spot where we compare where we're at in our life as opposed to where somebody else is at. Their chart that they came in with is not yours. So whether that means you feel as though you're ahead of somebody or whether you feel you're behind somebody, never get trapped into that comparison thing. When we compare, we lower our vibrations. Bottom line. Bottom line. Now, we're getting support, okay? The Uranus energy at 4 degrees Taurus sends a semi-sextile to help this Chiron energy, and also helps the sun and also helps the moon at 4 degrees Aries, okay? Focus your new moon intention on self, because this is what it's in. It's in Aries. It's me. Recognizing the esoteric understanding for the Aries energy, Mars as its ruler, is all about the ego. I know I've been facing this a lot with myself lately. It's like, oh God, you know, sometimes I hear myself speak. I have to do a lot of editing, and I'm listening to these videos sometimes, and I'm just like, you know how you don't even like to hear the sound of your recorded voice, right? Imagine looking at yourself, you know, and seeing all the physical changes in yourself, and then hearing parts of the ego drizzle out. And it's just like, it's hard, but it's a mirror. It's a wonderful mirror, I'm learning. And it's a way of helping me to better understand the level of acceptance I either did or didn't have for my physical self, my physical body, bottom line, which encompasses my existence right now, right? My soul's journey is in this body for this lifetime, in this condition, whatever that may be, specific to you. So Scorpio Ascendant, Scorpio Rising, understanding your Aryan energy and understanding it's in your 6th house, the house of my work. What do I do for a living? It's also about your health. How have I been living? How have I been serving my body and my health in the best and the highest way? The degrees, pay attention to the degrees. I keep saying the 6th house because this is, when you look at it, 4 degrees Aries, you know, when you're looking at a tropical Placidus chart, which is what I'm looking at, all right, you could have multiple signs in your 6th house. If you do, it's a possibility your 4 degrees Aries might slip into the 5th house for you. Okay, it's possible. It might slip into your 7th house. Some folks have 2 or 3 signs in one house. You know, a house can be very large, a house can be very small, but a sign always will have 30 degrees within it. So if you have a big house in your chart, you know, some folks, you have charts where your 1st house and your 7th house are gigantic, likely you're going to have multiple signs in that house. And the smaller of a house you have, you're only probably going to have 1 sign in it, or you're going to have a little bit of one sign and a little bit of another, okay? If I lost you, just comment and ask me questions and I'll explain that. Follow the degrees. If it's in your 5th house, it's going to be about romance and children and relationships and how you have fun. It's about creativity. It's about joy, doing things that give you joy. If it's in the 5th, if it's in your 7th house, then it's all about your significant one-on-one relationships. I want to say something here about that 7th house too. It is our significant one-on-one relationships. It's people that we counsel. It can be business partnerships. But every time I do more reading, I'm seeing a common word being used, and it is how I relate to the public. meaning you're constantly going to be encountering folks. And so the new moon, if it's placed there, it's about new beginnings, new people you will be meeting. Okay? I want to kind of float back down for you Scorpio Ascendant, Scorpio Risings into all this Capricorn stuff I began at the beginning of the video. And I wanted to talk about it because there's this major thing happening with all those planets at the butt end of Earth in Capricorn. If you should have, look in your chart, look at your Virgo energy and look at your Taurus energy. Okay? Your Virgo is going to be, your Virgo energy is, hold on, I gotta press this thing here. Your Virgo energy is going to be all the way over in your 11th house. Now remember, 11th house is the house of our hopes and our wishes, right? The 10th house is our ambitions, because it's a little bit more realistic. It's Saturn ruled. So the 11th house is ruled by Uranus, and it's our hopes and our ambitions, okay? I just said our ambitions. This is 10th is ambitions, 11th is our hopes. It's things that we kind of wish upon a star for. And if you have any planets in the last decan of Virgo, you know, like 22, 23, 24 degrees, you're going to have some beautiful stuff happening. And remember, the 11th house is your friends. It's your group energy. It is internet. It is astrology. The 11th house is also financial gains. I know a lot of people don't talk about it that way, but it's financial gains as well. So if you don't know if this is in your chart, comment below. You know, just give me your name. If you're new here, you'll have to give me your birth data and I can tell you. But what you also want to look for is to see if you have anything in the sign of Taurus, the other earth sign. What you're looking for to see is if you have a grand earth trine. If you have a grand earth trine, this could be a big payoff for some folks, right? I get it. It is tax return time and all that. But look if you have anything like 20, 21, 22, 23, 24 degrees of the Taurus energy, because that would create this sweet grand earth trine for you. And this would just be a joyous thing. Grand earth trines mean ease. But if it's grand, it's happening in 3 locations of your life. So for Scorpio Ascendant, Scorpio Rising, this would possibly be for you in your 11th house, because that's where you have Virgo. The Taurus energy is in your 7th house. Okay, and then your Capricorn energy is in your 3rd house. 3rd house is your talking, your communications. It's also social media. It's your interactions. It's, you know, it's business. It's commerce. That is the 3rd house. Earth energy is in your 7th house because you have Taurus on your descendant. So that can be your relations with the public, but can also be business partnerships, can also be significant one-on-one relationships. And then that caps off your 11th house placement, Virgo, Taurus, and Capricorn. And that's kind of, I'm liking this. I'm liking the way this looks. It looks extremely beneficial, actually. Details would be given and needed if you wanted to know more about that. Just comment, ask questions. I'm available to do that for you guys. That's why I'm here. Whether I want to do this or not, this is why I'm here. So let's just make that clear. You're not infringing. And the whole point is get your questions in now. I know this channel is going to grow because I know there's a valid service being offered and there's a need for it. While I can get to just about 99.9% of the comments, take advantage of it. Your Virgo full moon at 4 degrees, you're going to set your intentions. I'm going to give you the dates for your intentions. And this Virgo full moon is on the 24th of March. And these are hopes, wishes, and dreams in terms of your health and in terms of work for your future. You know, maybe your health and maybe your work for your future involves your physical body. I mean, maybe your Aryan energy is in your 6th house. So that is your body, right? Matters of your body. Holistic health would make sense. Doing alternative stuff, because that's what the 6th house is as well. It is being tangible and practical and logical and doing things that don't necessarily involve getting caught up in things as far as, you know, medicines and chemical substances, but going as holistic as you possibly can, because that is that energy that's supported in that house placement. So does your future involve something that includes the betterment for your own body, which you can then share and help the betterment for other folks, right? This is what your time frame is here. This is the beginning of that. Do not miss out. Do not waste this new moon intention, all right? So the date is, wait till about the 25th at the latest, because by the 25th, the moon will be more in the Aryan energy. It'll be, you know, more, because it's only at 4 degrees, all right? and it will be more comfortable there. It'll be more adjusted. Normally when we have a thing moving and it just gets there, it's a little unsettling. Plus, once it moves a little bit, it will no longer be squaring that north node. The moon moves fast. It literally can move a degree within 2 hours. And then it will no longer be squaring, but you should pay attention to when the day of the new moon comes, what was irritating the piss out of you, okay? It's your Cancer energy, so it was your beliefs that were irritating you, and it was which is your north node, the transiting north node, and then we'll go look at the opposing end of the north node, right, which is going to be the south node, and your south node is in Capricorn at 4 degrees. Now, I know this is probably going to even be worse and be harder because this is what you had to let go of. Right? This is what our south node, when it's transiting through our chart, or if it's in your personal chart, that south node energy represents what you're leaving behind. And for you, that is all about something about the way you think, something about the way you communicate. You're letting go of it. It was either a habit you formed, whether it was in your thoughts or the way you expressed, you're releasing it and you're letting it go. Or it's an idea you had about, this is what my work has to be. My work should look like this. There's structures that you had set up, okay? And you're releasing all of that. It's been dismantled, and you're just, this is going to be that last thing because it's a new moon squaring that, and it's saying, I'm making this purposefully uncomfortable. That way you shouldn't have any qualms or confusion as to what this is that you're releasing and letting go of, okay? Now, when we look at the third house, I want to also say that this could be people. Right? It could be people in your life that you considered friends. It could be people who felt like siblings, but who were not blood relatives, okay? Because the third house is my brothers and my sisters, all right? So there might be people who no longer fit into who you are any longer. And as we grow and evolve, this is natural. Things fall off. They fall away and we no longer need them. Okay, we grow new branches and new leaves, and there are new beginnings, which is what this new moon represents. Scorpio ascendant, Scorpio rising. I probably brought up a whole bunch of other issues other than the new moon, but I felt very strongly to record this video specifically for you guys. And whatever you do, I just let me know, comment, and if you have questions, I'll be here. Hope this has put some light upon your path.